Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It has been not too long ago, but as of last Tuesday, that we've gotten the opportunity to connect with each other. So please do the formalities of like, commenting, and sharing. And make sure that people that you know are a part of the conversation. This is some good stuff that we are sharing, and I want everybody to be connected. I mean, gosh, we only have technology now to stay connected. Can't be going up into people's houses all willy nilly, especially if you ain't got no mask or no hand sanitizers. Oh, welcome back, welcome back. I do want to say, go ahead if you have not already. Go to the January 9th posting of the virtual vision casting that I did. That will give you some in-depth perspective as to how to create a vision, how to work through your interests, your values, your skills, your career, and let yourself build a value system, if you will, to be able to create a vision that's going to be suitable with everything that you have going on in your life. Like I said, from your interests to what you value to your career aspirations, the skills that you want to build, all of those things are wrapped up into building a vision. So you definitely want to go ahead and tune in to that video to kind of get a preview of what I'll be expanding on today, especially because it's going to help navigate your process, because I went through an additional process when it came to me revamping my vision. Because if you've already seen the first video, you'll know that your vision evolves with you. It can go from evolving within 3 to 6 months of you developing it to maybe over more months and some years. It may change as your family dynamic change, from single to married, from married to children, whatever that looks like, your vision will eventually change. So, because nothing is permanent except for God and His promises, per Dr. Miles Monroe. But anywho, we'll go ahead and get started. So it's inevitable to say that with a vision and some values, that the ultimate result is change. Your vision will guide your purpose. Your vision is like the map to getting to your purpose or your destiny. Your vision is like your plan of life, how you foresee yourself getting to your destination. And it's something that is very necessary for direction, for more certainty and more clarity when it comes to your life. In a sense, your vision is your brand. Who do you want people to know you as? Who do you want people to see you as? Who do you want people to talk about you when they're sharing information about you with their friends? It's a mix between what you want it to be, what people perceive you are, and putting that together. So your vision is your brand. You can start building your vision, as I mentioned in the January 9th video, by starting to envision your ideal life. What do you see yourself doing 5, 10, 15 years from now? If money wasn't an option, what would you be doing and how would you live that out? That's what your vision should entail. You definitely want to make sure that it's realistic and it's something that you are doing or working towards, that's going to satisfy you, that's going to build you up, that's going to encourage you. Your vision should say a lot about where you're going and what you plan to do when you get there. Here, you'll want to begin with the end in mind. Consider what you would do if you knew you wouldn't fail. Your vision is what you set to accomplish and what you find most important. What is most important for you in your life as you're moving forward? You definitely don't want to go about life aimlessly. There is a purpose to your life, and discovering your purpose is definitely a process. It's a mixture of your gifting, your talents, the things that you enjoy, the cry of the world, and how your attention is addressing that. So you want to make sure that your vision is something you set to accomplish again, and something that's important to you. Believe it or not, creating a vision statement or just a vision in general eliminates a lot of distraction. For example, if you know what you want, you're not easily detoured from getting to that destination. So consider the following when creating a vision. Expand your capacity. This is the key that you'll need, and that's foresight, forward thinking. Use your imagination. You've been given a mind, so use it. What are some God ideas you haven't pursued? And then overcome fear. For me, overcoming fear was getting rid of perfectionism, performance, procrastination, and people pleasing. What are your areas that you need to overcome so that you can get moving on your vision? You have a vision, you have your plan, you have your purpose. It's very hard to detour you from getting to that destination. I was listening to Miles Monroe over the course of this weekend, and he pretty much said that on a road, which is your plan, there is a destination, which is your purpose. Now, the vision kind of helps guide your plan to get to your purpose, but when you're on a road, though there's exits, it doesn't necessarily mean those exits are necessary stops for you to make. Exits are good, but if you take too many exits, what's supposed to be a 3-hour drive, if you will, could be 10 hours. For example, like the people of Israel, they were at the promised land. They were at the edge of the promised land, and 2 people, Caleb and Joshua, said, yes, let's go and take the land. Whereas the 10 other spies were like, y'all, no, we can't do this. They giants. They're more powerful than us. Nah, I don't think we're capable. They forgot who their father was, who their king was, who their Lord was. So the people, and to include Moses and his brother Aaron, everybody was like, okay, well, we're not going to go right now. Do you know an 11-day journey actually took them 40 years to get through? Because they took the exit route, if you will. They decided not to move forward with the purpose and the plan of God, and their vision was not clear enough to get them to the promised land. Again, they were physically there, and they went and sought out the land, but it wasn't enough influence of the 12. Only the 2 had the different spirit that said, let's go, but not everyone had that same thing, so that detoured them to have an 11-day trip be 40 years in length. My God, please don't let your lack of vision have you from getting to your purpose, getting to your destination delayed as a result of not having vision. We have to do better. If we know better, we do better. So as you know, my vision statement started with the first virtual vision casting, which in a nutshell was to be an influencer or agent of transparency and vulnerability, one that helps others restore their purpose and build strategies toward reaching their greatest potential. Again, your vision is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing with the dynamics of your life. Again, from single to married, from school to profession, from, my goodness, so many different, because again, things change all the time. Even your plan can change. Now the purpose and your destination won't, but your plan can. Your vision will evolve with you. It will be shaped, remolded, reformed into what it needs to be for you to get to your destination and purpose. As a result of my vision evolving, it has turned into this. In addition to my previous statement, I have a desire to foster self-love and positive relationship building by way of courage to creatively express my testimony through varying mediums to include but not limited to writing and video. Lastly, I've identified myself as a teacher and lifelong learner empowered by collaboration and teamwork. So, what I do want to know, the screaming question that I have is, how are you working your vision? That was the whole point of doing a Vision Reloaded video. How are you working your vision? Even if you didn't start off with me January 9th when we talked about vision. We built it, created a statement, looked at all our interests, our skills, our career, every aspect of the vision. Even if you didn't have that and you maybe want to frame it as a New Year's resolution or just a purpose statement, whatever it is, how have you made movement on it, or what work have you put in place to bring it into fruition? So let's look at the definition of work. I wrote it because I didn't memorize it, but it's still good enough. Give me just a moment. Work is activity requiring effort in order to achieve a purpose or a result. And the result is the vision. Come on. In a nutshell, work requires discipline and intention. I mean, if we're not putting work to our vision, then there is no discipline and there is no intentionality with putting it in place. Why have a vision if you're not going to work it? Why have a vision if you're not going to put feet to the pathway to make movement, to get up from sitting, from sitting to standing, and then eventually walking to running? Like, what's the point of a vision if you have no intention of working it? And so that's my question to you. How have you worked your vision? And again, if you don't have one in place, it's probably about time that you do that. 2020 is almost over. What are you going to do to accelerate your progress before the end of this year? Now, I mean, we have nothing but time and opportunity. This crisis has given us nothing but time and opportunity. I can't think of the amount of businesses, the amount of education people are pursuing as a result of the time that they have. Now, granted, there are other complications when it comes to this crisis, but what do people need and how can you meet that need? And that's part of what a vision is as well. Your vision should go beyond yourself. Your vision should go beyond you as an individual. It should focus on a greater cause, a greater purpose that, again, extends beyond you. So I encourage you, revisit or create a vision and put it into action. Do the work, because when you think about it, when you do the work or you don't do the work, there is a reward. When you do the work, a reward is you fulfilling your vision or getting to a place to where it's time to extend your vision. Whereas if you don't do the work, the vision stays stagnant, and in a sense, so do you. Let's not let the tendency of refraining or delay keep us from working our vision. Like, too many times I have had the daunting perspective of, like, this thing that I'm working on, this thing that I'm aspiring towards, this vision I want to implement is going to take me forever. Yes, I need to keep the end in mind, but progressively so. The end is in my mind like perfection. Again, I'm working on that because having a vision helps me to eliminate that, because I at least will work with what's in my hands and work with what I have. But having a vision set out, it starts with the end in mind, meaning, okay, maybe I can backtrack, see where I am right now, and the distance between where I am right now to where I want to be. That's my plan. That's me operating in faith. That's me walking with, if you will, a certainty that I can get to my vision. And at the end of the day, setting a vision in place and working it is an act of obedience. God gives us instruction, whether it's through his audible voice, whether it's through his word by way of the Holy Spirit. God gives us instruction. And in that of itself is like a first step in faith. From there, he asks us to do the work, which is obedience, to ultimately, again, get to the promise. So the promise is the purpose, the destination, but the work in the midst of that is that vision too. It's all building itself up to something greater, something bigger, something beyond. So take that instruction, take that vision, put some work to it, so that way that purpose is more tangible, that promise is more tangible, that destination is more tangible. And you might need to start with that to backtrack to see, okay, where am I right now to where I want to be, and making a plan of action and operating in faith to see that come to pass in your life. So thank you all for tuning in to Conversations Under the Palm Tree. It's been a blast. Vision Reloaded. I didn't intend for this to be too heavy, too long, but just wanted to recap of, hey, we still have time. We're still here. Like, what are we doing with our vision? How are we putting it into practice? And how can we make sure that we see longevity with what we're aspiring to do? So I love you all. I hope you have a great evening. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesdays because it's going to be TNT explosive. Peace. I hope you enjoyed this evening's Conversations Under the Palm Tree. I look forward to seeing you next week.